Good morning, everybody. I have a quick update. Mike is on a business trip, so you're stuck with just me. But he told me to go ahead and do this since we're getting so far behind on our videos. Hope everybody's doing great this week. I've got a message here for Cheryl. She was asking about the textbook that James, my son-in-law, was talking about. And the name of the book is called Reading and Critical Thinking by Peter, I think it's Facione. It's Facione. And I'll put the link to the book down below. It's actually, I think, a textbook that they're using in college. But anyway, also, we've had several emails and PMs and messages asking if we can verify the article that Alex James wrote about that clip from the talk. Everybody's been asking, can we verify that this was actually a talk given by a Jehovah's Witness? I can say that yes, it is. Guess where I found it? The elder or circuit overseer, we're not sure, but the name of the talk is Fight the Fine Fight of Faith, and his name is Elwood Johnson. And I've got the entire talk, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link to that down below also. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to insert at the end of this video here the entire context of what he was talking about, because he's actually talking about apostates. And after listening to this entire part, in fact, I listened to the entire talk, I got a headache. Took me all afternoon to find this talk. I had to listen to like 4 of his. So yeah, made me crazy. Anyway, I'm going to do this entire clip because there's some gems in here. And it's almost like he's trying to put doubt in the Jehovah's Witness minds that all of these child abuse accusations are lies of just kids trying to, you know, cause problems for people. So it's like, wow, and this is no laughing matter. And in fact, the entire talk has some gems in it, and we're going to be doing some other videos about some other things that he has mentioned in these talks, because it's like the whole thing, he's mocking everybody. And so we've got some gems in these. But like I said, I'm going to post the link down below. Now, the timestamp, if you want to just fast forward to where he starts talking about apostates, and this particular clip from this talk is at 59 minutes and 44 seconds. And you'll recognize it. And there's like a minute or two before he starts talking about that, part. But yeah, it's disturbing. And like I said, the audience is definitely laughing and clapping. And I also found this talk on a known Jehovah's Witness website that has talks. So I did verify it in 2 different places. But yeah, it's Elwood Johnson, and the name of it is Fight the Fine Fight of Faith. That's a tongue twister. So you all have a great day, and here's the audio for that particular clip. Just wanted to cut in here real quick before I get to the clip. I forgot to mention that right before this part about the apostates, he admits that the society was collecting 6% interest on their Kingdom Hall loans. So I'm going to add that in too, because this is important, because this is why they have forgiven all the loans and everything, because the government and the IRS was about to come down on them for acting as a bank. So we think that this is important too, and we will probably be using this clip later on. But yes, he admits they were collecting 6% interest for their Kingdom Hall loans from the brothers and sisters. So what about the scripture? Do not be collecting interest from your brothers and sisters. Hypocrites. So
do we murmur and complain about adjustments in our understanding of the Bible when they appear in the Society's publications? or do we go on? You know, I'm just talking, and I'm going to quit in a minute, but I'm just talking. I was up at Bethel when they, I'm just expressing my own thoughts and my feelings, because that's what we're made out of. We're made out of our feelings. And I was sitting at the breakfast table, and they made the announcement that they were going to adjust the payment toward the Kingdom Hall, where I think the brothers were paying something like about 6% thing, interest and so forth on some of the loans that they had. And then at the breakfast table, they said that they were going to reduce it to 3%. And I said to myself, you know, why are they going to do something like that? 6% is working. You know, why they don't change it? Why are they going to go to 3%? Why? But then you know what I did? I said, well, you know what? I don't know nothing about them books, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my book bag, and I'm going to go on out in the field service, and I'm going to tell them brothers to pay that 3%, just like the society said, and let that be that. I don't know nothing about that. But I know how to preach. I know how to do that. So let me do what I know. I don't know nothing about those accounts up there, and I'm not about to get involved in that. And you know, that's the way you have to do sometimes. It's not that we bury our heads in the sand or anything like that. But sometimes there are certain things that you don't really know all about, so why do you get all up in the air? Hasn't Jehovah's organization been working before you got here? Didn't it work before you got here? And won't it keep on working after you leave? You know, that is after you go off into the ground somewhere. So let's not rebel against the truth. Let's appreciate Jehovah's congregated people. They know a whole lot more than we do. You know, I heard somebody say they had a pioneer class with over 600 years of experience. All right. Put the experience of all the anointed ones together and see how many years of experience you got there up at the headquarters. You see what I'm talking about? So it's inexcusable for a person to be rebelling against the truth. And what about apostasy? The apostates, the Bible warns us against such individuals. It warns us. These men are murmurers, complaining about their lot in life. And the biggest thing about apostates, and they don't tell you this, they start railing against the teachings of the congregation. And usually what they'll do, they'll go back to something that was said in 1901. Something that we said back in 1901 or 1879. Now you see that? See that? These are false religion. This is a false religion. Even the people in the world say, well, we left that. We left that a long time ago. Here's what you said back in 1929. Now you done changed it. But what they don't tell you is the reason why they're in such a dither is because they were committing fornication or adultery, or they were robbing brothers through some business scheme, and the elders caught them at it and put them out of the congregation. Okay, well, go on and leave us alone. They want us to assume their position. You saw this thing on television perhaps a year or so ago where somebody got all on television talking about child abuse and Jehovah's Witnesses do this and blah, blah, blah. They want us to handle it like they do in the world. And the world has done some god-awful things to families. I admit that child abuse is a terrible thing. But the world, in their haste and the way they handle justice, they have actually made laws against the family where they cannot come back together. I have had situations where a girl just simply said, my father touched me, because he was disciplining her, you know, and she didn't like the discipline. He had something to say about it. So she just went down there and just made up a story. He touched me. And what? Zoom! They come out there on her word and locked him up. Well, now, she didn't contemplate the consequences of all of that. The man got locked up. The family head was out. The money was gone. No rent being paid. She can't get milk money. She can't get lunch money. She can't get shoes. And the mama is without her husband. A whole set of circumstances came crashing in on them just because she said something and the law swooped in and locked the man up. And then when she realized what she had done and had lied about the whole thing, she said, well, you know, I made a mistake. He really didn't do these things. And they told her, child, you better shut up or we'll lock you up. And they did not seek to right the wrong. They did not seek to right the wrong. They didn't seek to right the wrong. And the girl wrote down on paper and tried to say, no, he didn't do the. Didn't matter. Tore the family up. Okay, well, these apostates want us to go by the worldly system of things. And granted, these things, they have their way of being handled, but our system works for us. See, the body of faith says that those who are wrongdoers have to have 2 or 3 witnesses. The body of faith says that even if you don't have the 2 or 3 witnesses, according to Matthew chapter 13, the angels are going to collect the wicked ones out who are causing stumbling. We accept that. So we don't have to go by the world standards. So if you don't want to accept the body of faith, these apostates, then go leave us alone. Go start your own religion. Get your own publications. Get your own printing press. Have your own conventions, have your own congregations, have your own field service, have your own textbook, get your own insight book, get your pioneers, get your own circuit overseers. Leave us alone. So you can see here that we must resist these people with all of our might, with all of our strength. We must stand firm against the apostates. We must stand firm against those who would try to entice us into immorality or any other ungodly conduct. And finally, Jude said, keep yourselves in God's love.